Luke Fenhaus, Carson Hocevar, great turnout in the stands. Flag is in the air. We are racing at Michigan International Speedway.
Fenhaus's truck got a little squirrely with him there when he punched the gas sideways, but he's got a nice little edge going into turn one.
Nice push from his teammate. Those Thorsport trucks all working together early.
4 wide. Did we mention that earlier? Well, there it is, and it's going to happen a lot today.
Amazing how quickly it happened with that 4 wide. We wondered where it would take place for the first time. 1 and 2, it didn't take him very long.
Look at Jake Garcia.
Battle for the lead here. Teammates side by side. That's Jake Garcia wasting no time at all as they're 3 wide up front.
Oh, Jake got loose down there. You knew he would.
Connor Mozak now taking a peek to the outside.
And this is something we're going to see all day long. What happens if you get pinned to the bottom? You see Luke Fenhaus right there, truck to the outside in Connor Mozak, and now they go 3 wide in the corner. Carson Hocevar uses the opportunity to catch a draft and grab the lead.
That push is coming, and there goes Hocevar. He's not going to sit behind another guy any part of this race.
Well, they know Corey Heim has been the man to beat every single week in the truck series, and now he's already moved his way up to 3rd.
And now we're to that part of a run, 20 laps in, where maybe handling characteristics are getting worse. You're finding out if your truck's loose, you're finding out if your truck's tight, Michael, and that can play a factor in how you race the rest of this stage.
And Connor Mozak did a great job of taking advantage of that traffic, and look, he's closed in on those 2 leaders.
Well, and this is the point where we see if maybe Corey Heim has been holding back just a little bit, sizing up Carson Hocevar to figure out exactly what he's got. We see him go to the top like he's been doing in 1 and 2, a little tight as he went up there, maybe a little more separation than what he wants right here.
Final lap of stage number 1. Corey Heim has been the king of stage wins. He already has 9. There he goes. Takes a look to the inside.
He
You're
did
right,
it.
Michael.
He did it.
He was sizing him up.
Laid back and made the pass. That's a playoff point right there, Regan. What a great move by Heim.
Very good move. You like the side draft that he used going into turn 3 to help really slow down the 7 of Carson Hocevar.
Hocevar behind Corey Heim on the outside. Connor Mozak has been so quick, wasted no time in stage 1 getting to the front.
This is when those spotters are so valuable, Regan. Look how tight these things are.
And we see the shove right now that Carson Hocevar is giving Corey Heim. Carson actually chose the outside behind Corey Heim, and you see why when they got to the back straightaway. Knew he would be able to push him out there, and they could clear for the lead right there, which is exactly what they did.
Look at Ty Majeski, defending series champion, up to 3rd.
Gio Ruggiero in that JBL truck, the bright orange truck. He's made his presence known up there toward the top. Oh, look how close that is. Tyler Ankrum tried to cut off Ross Chastain. Not only did he try to, he did. He cut him off, he blocked him. These guys have a choice every lap. Do they push or do they pull out? They can do either one, as you see the pull out there for the lead.
Here comes Carson Hocevar. Lost that lead to the 11 of Corey Heim on the last lap of stage 1. Now he regains the lead here.
Corey Heim opts to go up to the top side, of course, to help disrupt the air on the front of Carson Hocevar's truck. Trying to do everything he can to just give him a curveball that he doesn't expect. See him go to the bottom. He's trying to break the air from behind him, not allow Carson to get a run on him.
That was a great move by Heim. That broke up that draft enough to put a couple of 3 extra truck lengths between our 2 leaders.
Coming off turn 4, flag is in the air.
Wow.
Corey Heim, for the 4th time this season, he has swept both stages of a race. Masterful job working the air, Regan. That was a great explanation of exactly what they were doing and working together there or against each other to get that stage win.
And you see, much like the last restart, the outside lane, as they come off of turn 2, starts to prevail. That's why those 2 opted to make that choice. But a great job by Caden Honeycutt right there to get back up there, to fill that hole, which then gives him the shove to hold that 3rd place.
Look at Connor Mozak, still trucking in the 81. They have made some noise today, running up in the top 5.
Golly, this is tight. And it's just going to get tighter, right, Regan?
Certainly is. And
caution is out. Raja Karuth. Gosh, it's been a day for him. Last week's winner had a tire issue early in this one, was off sequence, and that is a big hit.
Oh.
You're right, Michael. You mentioned Matt Mills.
Yeah, I think that Raja tried to squeeze down a little bit.
Look at how tight they're pushing down the back straightaway here.
See how the air affects these trucks. They are bouncing all around. Chastain washes up the track right in front of Corey Heim. He hangs on to it.
Carson Hocevar was not to be denied that lead. He was able just to squeeze ahead of Caden Honeycutt.
How about Andres Perez? You see him on the bottom there. The first truck on the bottom going to be put 3 wide by Tyler Ankrum, but a nice move forward for him right now.
Just stalled out, and you saw Ankrum take advantage of that as he begins to squeeze up toward the top 5.
Perez in that 77 truck you mentioned having a great day. The rookie in the Truck Series will be making his Xfinity debut next week in Mexico. Look at this battle. Ty Majeski to the inside, trying to pick up the 3rd spot.
Corey Heim on the rebound. We saw him get around Ross Chastain, continuing to march back toward the front.
Caution is out again. Another 2 damaged race trucks. Morgan Baird, one of them. The 02, Nathan Bird, the other.
These guys that are welding the fence back together so we can get going racing, great job by them. Let's see if we can see the impact here that causes this mess. There they go into that outside wall, upwards of 180 miles an hour. That's going to leave a mark.
Yeah, and certainly, you know, Michael, those were big impacts. And Jamie, you made note immediately after we saw the 2 truck that it's almost shrunk down in half right there. And you know, I've hit both types of walls before as well, Michael, and I am thankful for those safer barriers. You just see how big the runs are as they got headed into turn 3 and
around sideways. Tyler Ankrum into the wall. Caden Honeycutt got a piece of that. Ty Majeski was right there in the 98.
Stay green.
And that's the risk that you run, right? When you get further back in the pack like that. 3 trucks that we thought were capable of maybe winning the race if things went their way. One of them has damage now, the other 2 losing all their track position.
Grant Enfinger said, when my truck's out front, it runs pretty good. Well, look at that thing. He's stretching them out really nicely.
Not being happy with the handling of the race truck, so they get a shot out front, and look at him. He's holding them all off.
And that's the beauty of what we call clean air, right? And that clean air is, we might be speaking too soon here. Lane Riggs with a great run, and here's the problem. If Lane can't complete this pass, which he's not going to be able to off at turn 2, watch what happens, and he's able to get back.
Chastain.
Here comes Ross Chastain.
Here comes Heim. Here comes the whole world.
And there goes Lane. Lane Riggs falls back, loses those 2 spots.
Look at that battle.
Look how close they are.
And Enfinger's hanging on for dear life there. He's getting shoved all over the place. He wants those pushes, but he wants them to be a little calmer.
Ross Chastain in that 44 truck won the Coke 600 a couple of weeks ago. Over here, just looking for the win. Hasn't led yet today, hoping to change that right here. Lane Riggs, he tries to get around him. The block, there was contact there. 3 wide for the lead. This is unbelievable.
It's going to be really tight coming off right here. So Ross wants to keep on the outside of Lane, which he's been able to do so far. What they're going to have to watch out for now as they side draft is right here. Grant Enfinger making it 3 wide, and that's exactly what you got to watch out for. Corey Heim absolutely loving what he's seeing, maybe going to get a chance to get a spot here.
What about Grant? He made the big move and made it work. Back to the lead for the 9 truck. Yeah, he's talking about gas. Jeff said, could you save me some gas? And Grant said, no, I cannot save you any gas right now.
And that was my concern when we were on the break earlier, on the red flag earlier, was how do you save as we see a
look at Hocevar.
Big move from Hocevar. Maybe going to go 2 for 1 here.
On the march.
And this will open up the door for Heim. Watch this big run from the red truck back there. There it is.
The big push Ross Chastain gives to Grant Enfinger.
These guys got to have a lot of trust in one another, and that trust will run out. There it is right there.
Contact, around he goes. Can he save it? Carson Hocevar was sideways, and he does. That is Ross Chastain saves it, and Hocevar to the lead. There was so much going on. Contact everywhere, guys. We're staying green.
I don't know that I've seen one that sideways in a long time and save it. And great job by Ross Chastain. Of course, Carson Hocevar now gaps the field, right? Gets a little bit of a lead.
Tire carcass on the track.
There it is.
And the caution is out. Lane Riggs is on pit road.
truck control right here. And you see the reason why Hocevar is concerned about that left rear right there. But watch what Ross Chastain does. He's got his foot wide open, Regan.
Foot wide open. He's steering back to the right. He's waiting for that truck to catch, and you see the tire marks it left as it caught right there. He's waiting for it to catch and come back over to the left rear of the truck. And when that happens, you've got to be steering back to the right before that happens in order to keep it straight.
Going to try to work with and hold off his teammate, Corey Heim.
It's already begun.
Ross Chastain gets sideways. Oh, and they all pile into each other. Around they go at the front of the field. We can't get going. Is that a push gone bad?
Oh, yeah, 100%. It was a guy on the front row maybe that decided to go a little later in the box than the person pushing him decided. And there you see the result. There's the restart line. You can start in that box, and you can see the push from behind on Ross was just more than he could handle. Yeah. He handled it, but then the push on the back of Gio turned him into Ross, and away they all went.
And it actually looked like, you know, both of our leaders there, as they got ready to start going, it was almost two separate incidents that took place there, right? Because Gio Ruggiero in the 17 truck got turned sideways as well, and don't know, we'll have to watch again here and see if they were waiting late in the zone to go.
That's what it looks like. It looked like they just went.
Both trucks were getting pushed from behind, and I got to believe that they were having trouble hooking up the rear tires to get going forward. If those pushes come too soon, what happens is you spin the rear tires and you can't go anywhere, and you start dancing around as we saw.
NASCAR overtime. Green flag is in the air. So far, a better restart. They do it. Corey LaJoie hangs on to the lead.
Frankie did not get going,
which in turn caused Carson to not get going either. So that was a worst case scenario for Carson based on that position.
But he's got her wound up now, but man, he's back in probably 10th spot. So the
oh, flawless Allen.
It was hard contact, still green. See if he can keep that thing pointed in the right direction. Look at Corey LaJoie trying to do the best blocking job he's ever done. Oh, cut tire, Hemrick.
Left front goes down for Hemrick. He hits the outside wall. Caution is out.
We're going to do it again.
And I was just getting ready to say, it appears that tire for Hemrick was going to hold up. It made it through 1 and 2, but as they got up to speed, it was exactly what we saw there as our cameras were picking that up.
2 laps to go here. Grant Enfinger ducking to the inside of Corey LaJoie, and he clears him just like that. Here comes Ben Rhodes in the 99.
And that was a perfect move by Grant to get that
wide.
Cleared. It's chaos behind them here.
And they're sideways. Matt Mills into the wall, and he takes a couple more trucks with him. Jack Wood goes around. The 15 Tanner Gray.
Oh, wow. We got a caution.
Haven't talked a whole lot about him.
Very
nose to nose.
Restart. No help for either one of the leaders on the front row on that restart.
Very orderly start as Matt Crafton is his first to try to peek out 3 wide. I think that 9 truck with the push from the 07 down the back can clear Stuart Friesen. Is that what's going to happen? Looks like Luke Fenhouse is going to have a big run in the 66.
Here comes Lane Riggs. See him just come into the picture, the 34 truck behind Matt Crafton in the 88.
Give Stuart Friesen the edge.
And what a move by Friesen to work the side draft down the back straightaway, get himself in position to clear. Now he is going to have to block runs from Grant Enfinger.
White flag is in the air. Stuart Friesen has had one of those seasons, just left shaking his head, questioning being here and operating this team. And now here he is with a shot to win at Michigan. It's been 5 years since the Craftsman Truck Series has raced here. Look at this lineup. Stuart Friesen, Grant Enfinger wants it. And then you have the youngster back there, Luke Fenhouse, started on pole in the 66. What a career day it has been for him. Ben Rhodes is there. Checkered flag is about to wave for Stuart Friesen. Didn't talk about him all day, and here he is. Hangs on and he wins it. Stuart Friesen.
Wow.
Guys, we talked about win and you were in.
We talked about the volatility of the cutoff line, and Stuart Friesen just made it even more volatile.
Hi folks, Lee Diffie from NBC Sports here. If you truly enjoyed what you just watched, you can get more news, interviews, and highlights by subscribing to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube page. You can get it all, so go for it.